Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 163. You might have noticed this is coming out on Sunday, and I haven't changed the fucking schedule yet. I'm a dumbass. Yeah, this is coming out on a Sunday because we've had to switch up the schedule. Zero is no longer okay for recording on Wednesdays or Thursdays. So we had to push back the uploads from Saturdays to Sundays because we're recording Thursday, Saturday now, alternating weeks. Inside baseball. No one really cares, but it's worth outlining the reasons why things happen.
I like inside baseball. Can't lose track of where the ball is.
Be perfectly honest, I don't actually know what that phrase means, but I know what it means metaphorically.
I like baseball when it's inside. Alright, so...
Okay.
Who do we have on this week, Casey?
Well, we have me. Hi, I'm Casey. How's it going? We have Zero.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
It's hard for me to tell who's actually here and who's not. But, we have, Patient.
Hello, everyone.
We have Lucan.
Hello.
We have Weasel.
Hi.
And we kind of, sort of, have spoken.
Spoken is just going to be listening.
Busy.
Kind of.
Mostly just listening in. Say something funny enough, I might pop in for a moment.
Okay.
So there's a ritual to have him speak up, and it's called being funny. We're not very good at that, so...
He's never going to be on.
Yeah, we are not great at that. Somebody has their phone ringing.
Phone call.
Oh, sorry. My landlady has debt collectors calling the house all hours of the day. I'll close my door. That should help muffle it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's actually not a phone in my room, but there's a phone in the bathroom down the hall. That's what you're hearing. It's loud.
If it starts going off, maybe you should mute your mic for a few seconds until it stops.
Sure. Sorry. Hang on. I'll close the door.
We are really professional this week. I can't believe we have professionalism.
Zero.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what podcast were you a part of prior to this episode? Because apparently it wasn't this one, if you're commenting now.
What did I miss?
Nothing, we're just being really professional.
Zero's a dumbass.
So to get spoken to come in, we have to say something funny, right?
Cyber.
Okay. Okay. So Cyber Weasel is also here.
Yeah, Weasel's here.
Hi.
Yeah.
I already said Weasel.
Yes, you did.
Stop mucking up my intro, Zero.
Yeah. I'm the saboteur.
Alright. So, Right, we can actually do the regular thing this week, so that's cool. So, starting with what we're doing, what we've been doing. So, for the new people that haven't done this before, this is what you've been doing for the past week or two. Funny anecdotes if you have any, what you've been playing, what you've been reading, what you've been watching, etc., etc., etc. So, we'll start with me so I can get it out of the way and maybe take a minute, because I might need a minute in a few minutes. I'm using that word. Yeah, so I started taking the medication that I've been prescribed this week, and it's for the shaking that I've been dealing with. Yeah, it works, which is good. Not
what are the side effects?
So much. I constantly feel a chill, and I am kind of nauseous right now, and it's the first time the nauseousness has happened, so don't know whether that's connected or not. Might be, might not be.
Is this one of those side effects where if you feel nauseous, you should tell your doctor or else you're going to die?
No.
Okay.
With the dosage I'm on, which is very low, no. Probably.
Well, maybe you should try taking some Pepto-Bismol or drinking some ginger ale.
I don't know. Well, I don't actually know what Pepto-Bismol is in general.
How do you not know what that is?
Because he lives in England.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's a common
They have different
in this country.
They have different food and drug regulations over in England.
It's a stomach medicine, basically.
Oh, Okay.
And apparently exclusive to the US.
No, it
yeah,
might be here. I just haven't taken it for whatever reason.
Yeah, well,
before.
it's basically a one-stop stomach method. It deals with diarrhea, constipation, nausea, vomiting.
Heartburn.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up in the meantime because
It
But let's
also it tastes like candy hearts.
Let's not turn this into one of those prescription drug commercials, shall we?
yeah, you can get it in this country. It's
Cool.
okay.
So what else you been doing?
What else have I been doing? I've been playing a bunch of Skyrim, trying to get the self-insert fake back off the ground, and it kind of worked in a way.
The whitest guy in Skyrim.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so I found an inconsistency in my story with canon, which is, that's kind of a thing that I needed to fix, but not really. Because
Just
if I
put
keep
the
doing
AU
that, then
tag
I'm
on
stuck forever fixing
Just
everything that everyone points out.
Just put the AU tag on it, and you're instantly invulnerable to any criticism.
Yeah, that's why I hate the AU tag and never really use it.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, so I've been doing that, and it's pretty fun, trying out some new mods. One in particular kind of stands out. You're going to think this is weirder than it is. It's called Amorous Adventures. It's basically like adding actual romance subplots into Skyrim, and it's pretty good.
I married Roggy Notbeard. He's a little Seminole.
What?
Roggy Notbeard. I married him. He's a little Seminole. In Skyrim.
Are you saying cinnamon roll?
Seminole, yes.
That's a thing.
You know that meme?
Yeah, the thing that you must protect at all costs. That type of very cute character. Cinnamon
Okay.
roll.
It's based off of me and of someone of a similar who did. It's Cinnamon roll, too good for this world, too pure.
Yeah.
Just a second, my roommate needs to talk.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And,
that mod's pretty solid. It's like I say, it adds romance subplots to like most of the main characters you're going to speak to. So like the woman that sells meat in Whiterun, Carlotta, I want to say her name is, with the daughter. You go and find her estranged husband who was trying to he was away from the mic. Who was trying to save...
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I should have muted the mic.
Yeah, it's fine. Who's trying to regain his estranged family by, bringing his daughter a cool present and bringing them a lot of money to buy their affection back. And you find him dead in a dragon priest tomb.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It adds a lot of like neat little side quests like that, and incorporating romance into the setting that wasn't there before.
I'm almost now that it's been a while since Skyrim has come out and there's a special edition thing, I am tempted to give it another go because it's been a long time since I played Skyrim. But at the same time, I have lots of other games that
I do not recommend special edition because whereas Bethesda claimed mods from regular edition would be forwards compatible, they're not.
They're not. There is an entire new section on the Nexus for special edition because they're not compatible.
Yep.
Well, I still have the regular version, so...
Yeah, that's the one I'm playing, and you can get all the special edition stuff through mods anyway, so it makes literally no difference.
Yeah, for PC, it doesn't... the only thing that it was offered was, oh, hey, you can use mods on consoles, and then PS4 was like, no.
To be more accurate, Sony was like, no.
Yeah, and so I was like, well... I have an Xbox One, but I really don't care that much.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It adds an element to the games that just wasn't there. I mean, romance in that game previous to mods like this were you wear a necklace and talk to someone that likes you, and they'll say, hey, you want to get married? And you get married, and then they live in your house. And that's romance.
I found just about all my romance with Roggy happened after I married him.
Yeah.
That's backwards, bitch.
Yeah, they'll have lines that say, hey, you're great, and I love you, I guess, and stuff, and that's the romance.
Remember when Serana came out, and the first mod came out after that DLC was Marry Serana?
Well, in fairness, she is affectionate with you regardless, but she just doesn't want to get married. I know a lot about Serana for various reasons, okay?
Laura Bailey.
Shut up.
Laura Bailey.
So, yeah. So, yeah, that's changing the character actually slightly, but, whatever.
I haven't actually gotten to Dawnguard yet. Is that the vampire chick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm planning to turn... Tater keeps telling me to become a vampire because it's the best way to play Skyrim. I'm like, no, I don't want to be a vampire. So just to troll him, I'm going to turn Serana human.
You can do that. You got to be very careful with the dialogue.
Yeah, it's a real god dang it moment.
Yeah, it is. I fucked it up. So yeah, it is.
I just went vampire because why not? I like fruit punch, and what's the difference?
It's very coppery, fruit punch, but okay.
I really like the whole vampire castle design because I like castles, and I just want an excuse to have a castle.
Pretty good. Also, you get a bow that turns off the sun.
Yeah, which is pretty nice.
Well, I want a frost troll, an armored frost troll, so I'm going with Dawnguard. And crossbows. I want crossbows too.
Well, crossbows are literally everywhere as soon as you install Dawnguard, so you can do that anyway.
I haven't found any yet.
Well,
I have like 60 that I melt down for steel, so,
Well, I want an armored frost troll. I will call him Larry.
In fairness, yeah. That's a tricky one. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah.
Why would you name him Larry? That's like the least threatening name you could name something like that.
Something that ferocious, a non-threatening name? Exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the whole, whatever the Cerberus was called. Fluffy, that was it.
Fluffy.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I've been playing that a lot. It's like 40 hours into my run this time, being a magey character, because I got other mods that let magey characters do fun stuff, like spell creation and have a nice tower where you can be all magey in secret and stuff.
I'm doing
Good old mage towers.
Yeah.
I'm doing my first playthrough as a Khajiit warrior. Second playthrough, I'm doing it as a Khajiit mage.
Did you do barehanded as a Khajiit?
No, but
fun.
No, but I put unarmed on my ring and my gauntlet, and I enjoy doing it occasionally if I get bored.
It's so good. Like, the finishes are so good. You literally do a German suplex as a finisher.
I'm actually a dual sword wielder.
Ah, fair play. Yeah, dual wielding was my melee build when I was doing melee.
I sometimes wonder if I should have gone sword and shield, but I'm mostly happy with dual swords.
I don't know. I don't actually play that way, so I wouldn't know.
The heavy armor makes up. I don't really need a shield.
We're just going to be talking about Skyrim forever if this keeps on. So
no,
sorry.
That's pretty much all I got. So, I got a call from my sister this week and talked to her about the show that she forced me to watch, which was Community. Yeah, and I said, hey, I totally binged Community and watched all 5 seasons, and she immediately tells me there were 6. So, great, okay. So I watched the 6th season as well. Yeah, that show was good for the first 2 seasons, for the next 3, and really came back in a big way for the final season, so that's pretty cool.
I hear good things, but I saw the first episode and wasn't impressed.
No? I was pretty much gotten in the first episode, so might not be for you then. Yeah, though in fairness, the first episode had John Oliver in it, and he's awesome, so that was it. That was all I needed.
He is.
Any idea when Last Week Tonight's coming back? Because that's like one of my favorite shows. Anyway, yeah. So I watched that, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got Keith David in it for the last season, which is awesome. What else did I do? I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my week. So, Zero Interest. We caught up to season 3 of Ruby, and it might have broken us a little bit.
It broke me really, really, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it threw a lot of people for a loop.
Yeah, that last episode of season 3 for Zero Interest is, like, it's going to be an hour long, because...
Oh my.
Yeah. There was a lot to talk about, and we were very sad. Very, very sad. I may have cried while we were watching it.
Aww.
Yeah, season 3 is good.
Yeah, it is. It's so good.
It's really good.
Yeah. So, also, we're probably going to be doing an episode on Ruby Chibi as well, which I forgot to mention before we started recording. Zero, you should probably watch Ruby Chibi without me, and just, when you get
Ruby
chance.
Tubi?
But what if I don't want to watch Ruby Chibi?
Oh, Chibi.
Yeah, Chibi.
Oh.
Just at least watch like a few episodes, like 4 or 5 minutes long, so it's not a big deal.
Okay, so basically you're telling me to watch Ruby without having to wait for you. So okay, I'll go watch it.
Yeah, just the spin-offs. Don't watch season 4, asshole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Season 4 is probably... I'm really hyped for it because of reasons, and yeah.
Yeah, so is everyone else, so don't worry about it. That's pretty much my week. Zero.
I'll start with probably one of the most recent things. Resident Evil 7 came out.
That actually looks good. I'm tempted to actually get it.
It is.
It is because I haven't played the game, but I've been watching Markiplier play it.
Alright, so here's the thing. I have the PlayStation VR, right?
Mm.
So I tried that, and I may have screamed. That is terrifying in VR. Absolutely terrifying. Because, like, unless you've actually tried VR for yourself, you don't really understand how it feels. But, like, you're looking around, and it is completely dark, and you see somebody walking past the door down the hall, and you're like this. Don't like this. And, like, getting into any sort of combat or anything in that game, like, that is extremely thrilling and terrifying.
It looked like I watched Achievement How to Play It, or at least half of the first episode, and it looked kind of like combat was more like a cutscene.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Combat, like actual combat, enemies don't tend to recoil that much from your attacks. It's first person, so like to kind of compensate for the fact that you have excellent aiming, enemies can take a crap ton of damage, and you need to really watch your spacing. Because if you're going to melee something, you will most likely get hit. So there is skill involved. It's not like just, push this button to win type scenario.
It might have been just a case of they hadn't actually gotten to the combat bit yet. Like I say, I only watched the first half episode of what they put out, because by that point I was like, I kind of want to play this game, and I don't want to get spoiled on it, so I stopped watching.
Yeah. The first actual combat begins when you get the gun.
Right, okay. So yeah, they definitely hadn't, because they just... I'm not going to spoil anything. People should probably play this game. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, it is very good. Very atmospheric. I had a blast with it. I've not gone that far. Me and my dad just tried it last night when I got home from work, and I'm glad I didn't have nightmares because I felt like this would be a game that would give me them. That aside, also school started for me this week, and I've got my full English class repertoire all there. Like I've got literary theory, short fiction, which is the intermediate creative writing class. I have a class on fantasy, right? And this is like genders and fantasy kind of thing. And one of our required viewing things is Avengers: Age of Ultron, so that's going to be fun.
Oh, I saw the movie. It is pretty good.
And
I just saw it with Spoken.
Required reading, and among the various list of reading and watching, I'm going to have to read the Game of Thrones Book 1 and watch Season 1 of Game of Thrones. Oh boy, it's a fun class. It's a fun class. So aside from that, I had one very kind of... Okay, so I have a class that is it's like teaching second language learners, people who are only like just learning English as a second language. And so I go into but I forgot, because on my schedule the numbers, you just get numbers for your class, but you don't actually get the title. So I head into my first class, and the teacher comes in, and then she starts speaking to us in Japanese, and the rest of the class is like doing a bow like a traditional Japanese school, and I'm just kind of going along with it. And she's having people come up, like stand up and introduce themselves in Japanese, and my first thought is, okay, I am in the wrong class. I am in the wrong class, and this is Japanese 101, isn't it? And I start to pack my stuff up, and I look, and I'm like, the teacher is standing right in front of the door. I can't leave. So I'm there, and I'm just kind of frozen. I'm like, okay, now we're introducing ourselves like, Watashi wa your name Des. I understand enough anime where I can make it sound like I'm smart and say Ore wa my name Des.
That's not making.
Okay. Don't use alright. Don't use alright.
No. I took Japanese for 2 years in high school. No, you just said no.
I can ham it up and I can get myself out of here.
It's more polite to say boku.
Ish. Ore is like dominant and boku is submissive, is more the meaning.
So I can ham it up, I can get my way out of here, right?
And then boku would be the right one in that.
And then the teacher, and the teacher stops, and she's like, "All right, well, welcome to Japanese 101." And I'm like, "Oh no!" And she's like, "I'm just kidding. It's 110B." And I'm like, "Oh wait!" And my teacher did that to screw with us. And she had kids from her Japanese class in there.
Well,
and the point of that lesson was, now you know what it's feel like to be a second language learner in a class.
That's where I thought this was going at the very beginning, but you kind of threw a curveball in there.
So that's a fun class.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting thing. My creative writing class is really good. The teacher's extremely wise, and his opening kind of speech about the class actually was very moving and made me think about myself as a writer. Basically, I've got a good lineup of classes. The only class I would say is boring is grammar class. Good old grammar class.
We just talk better than them.
That's right.
We talk gooder than them.
We talk gooder. That's wrong. So, a game I kickstarted about 2 years ago finally came out. and it's a game called Nefarious. And oh, hey, it's Arxon. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. I literally just woke up.
You're right on time.
What I miss?
Everything.
We're doing what we're doing. Also, we have
Yeah.
new people. Yeah.
What did you miss? Bend over and I'll show you.
Okay. No, please. I was talking about something.
Okay. So Nefarious.
Yeah, Nefarious, a game that I kickstarted, came out recently. And the premise is that you are a villain, and you're basically kind of doing the opposite of the traditional hero thing, where you go and you kidnap the princess, and then you run away with the princess, and you have to fight the hero in a sort of a reverse boss battle. So I played that game. It's short. It's only about 5 hours. And while the writing is really good, and I like a lot of the jokes that they do, I had a problem with the gameplay. In that, first of all, sound design wise, there's some pretty bad things in there. The music doesn't loop perfectly in levels, for example, which is a kind of a big no-no. On top of that, certain attacks don't have any sound effects to accompany them, which is just not great. I ran into glitches that caused me to... One of them caused me to just fall out of world and die. Just because I got between two cop cars. And the gameplay itself is kind of unrefined in that I have to use WASD and a mouse. And the mouse is for shooting and WASD is for moving, and it's a platformer.
Ooh.
So there's no option for controller. There's no controller support. So.
Wait, it's a side-on platformer?
Yes.
Oh.
It's a 2D platformer style.
That's lame. How do you not have controller support for something like that?
Yeah. And that kind of made the gameplay a lot more difficult. Because my hand was just cramping up from having to do complicated WASD type things.
Yeah, we'll do that.
With the mouse. Because I have to shoot, because what you do is, with the mouse, you aim and shoot grenades. And you can use those grenades that explode as an extra jump for height. But you have to jump up and land right where those grenades are. And those grenades don't always shoot in the same area, even though you're aiming in the direction. There's a little bit of variation on them, which makes... jumping in with WASD and everything, and space rather is what I use for jumping, but WASD space and this very uncomfortable. That being I have a lot of problems with the gameplay of it, but the writing was good enough for me to go through it. I don't know, maybe we could do an episode on it or something.
I'd be down.
But fun game, I guess. Fun story, but not too big of a fan of the gameplay. As for what else I did this week, I just released I didn't mention it last week, but I released a chapter of my story M1N470 Reforged, the rewrite, last week, and I just released one last night.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, like 12 a.m. So that's going. I finally got finished with the prologue area. So from now on, it's going to be canon start of the game of Persona. Set everything up finally.
Woo.
I also saw the movie Split, which, if you're not familiar with that, that is a new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, God.
And it's about this guy who has 23 different personalities, and he kidnaps these 3 girls and basically locks them up in this area. And yeah, this movie is one of the best of M. Night Shyamalan's movies in a long time.
It is not a high bar, but okay.
I know it's not a high bar, but it is surprisingly good.
If you said it was as good as The Sixth Sense, that would be a high bar.
It is a genuinely fun movie. And there is a twist at the end that doesn't ruin the movie, but instead changes how you view it completely.
Well,
It's Shyamalan.
I'm not planning on looking into it. I mean, I'm not really much of a fan of those sorts of movies. I liked The Sixth Sense, but the only other experience I have with M. Night Shyamalan besides that is what the Nostalgia Critic has produced. Enough said.
Mm.
Like it is very much the movie is very much a bit of a character study.
Sorry, I just remember the devil review with the toast going butt side down, meaning the devil is present.
I was just thinking about that!
The movie, yeah.
That's
The
what
movie's-
really sticks in my mind about that.
Yeah.
The movie is very much a character study, and I enjoyed it. If you check the reviews, they're like, "Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan actually made a decent movie." So it's not like there's no like twist at the end that's like, "Oh, it was the trees all along."
Oh, yeah, that was
Well,
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing stupid like that. It's just a kind of a. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's good.
Well, odds are that whether it was good or not, the Nostalgia Critic will be looking over it. We'll see about
Yeah,
that.
they'll probably tear it to pieces. But I enjoyed it for what it was.
I'm falling in and out of appreciation for the Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes.
You know what was a great idea for, like, a series of videos? Opening every single one of them with farts and a flushing sound effect, because that just screams
Classy.
good thing. Yeah, classy is what. Yeah.
Expect
Classy
that.
like a box of wine.
Yeah. Luke, and you were going to say something, and I.
Well, it seems like he tends to like rip on movies just to rip on them. Like for example, when he did Camelot.
Quest for
A
Camelot.
lot of stuff because I remember Camelot and it was one of my favorite movies as a kid. It's like he's ripping on stuff like there's an explanation for this. Stop.
He kept saying they didn't explain things, but they did explain things.
He does have a tendency to skim over some of the in real life explanations.
Yeah, but it is a comedy series, and it's important to remember that when he's not doing films that are supposed to be taken seriously, he'll just rip on it.
Yeah. Usually. I mean, there were a couple of reviews where he was criticizing the movie but also praising it. Like his review of Hook, I believe. He personally liked that film.
My Jack. Sorry. If
I
we keep
think
talking
another
about this,
one-
I'm going to keep making references. That's just how it's going to go.
Well,
Well,
that's
Look and
That's a bad thing?
Well, I remember one review I saw much where he liked it, but he was like doing the pros and cons was Freddy vs. Jason.
We can hardly hear you, Lucan.
I'm sorry. When he did a review of Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
That's, what was that? Crossover between Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't good.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw that film. It wasn't good.
Yeah, but at least the fight scenes between the monsters are pretty okay.
I mean, that's the only reason why you watch that movie.
Yeah. I'm kind of waiting for him to do Jason X.
Oh,
So-
God.
So that was it for my week, pretty much. I mean, I am reading a book, but that's oh my gosh, I almost forgot. One of the commenters in one of our last podcasts recommended a story to me. He recommended a lot of stories, and one was my Transdimensional Overpowered Protagonist Harem comedy is wrong as expected.
Damn it, man! I gotta go find another recommendation.
I'll talk about it in the recommendations, but I am caught up with that right now. And that was it for my week.
Okay. Is it just me, or has Zero's voice suddenly gone very deep?
It
Yes,
did.
it's same for me. I was wondering about that.
I think you finally hit puberty.
No. I can go higher if you want, but why did my voice sound
like as you were talking, your voice like gradually went lower. Like,
Yeah.
does he have a cold or something?
We had this problem with Zero Interest previously. I think it's something to do with the connection going a little bit worse than it used to, and it just slows everything down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. He's pitched downwards by sound frequencies at the moment.
Of course, it could also be a sore throat. You remember when that happened to me?
My throat's not sore. Gosh darn it.
It's back to normal, don't worry about it.
There we go. Okay.
We'll go with Arxum since he just jumped in. What have you been doing? Unfortunately, me and Zero went on for a bit longer than I would have liked, and we have 6 people to go through, so the important and cool bits, if you could, please.
Well, shit. If we're going by those standards, I got nothing.
Nothing?
None. Let's see. Video games, a lot of work, new stories. Yeah, my life is pretty boring, honestly, with the past couple of months.
Well, so's all of ours, but what video games? Cool stuff? Going back stuff? Let's
see. I got the new Fate Extella game. I only able to beat the first 2 routes for Saber Nero and Tamamo. I haven't played as Altera yet.
What is that? Because I don't actually know.
Okay. It takes place in the Fate Stay Night series, their own alternative reality from the branch of Fate Extra games. You're some sort of digital Tron-ish character on the moon, going over the Holy Grail War. It's like a huge series of it. I really don't know how to explain it. It's been years since I played the first game. I couldn't play the second game because it was only out in Japan. And this one would be the third. So the point of this one was some giant alien godlike thing is coming to destroy the planets. And the whole point of the Holy Grail War was to find a champion to save all humanity. And that's you.
Huh. That was easy.
Yeah. And the gameplay is great. It's a lot like Dynasty Warriors. It's beat 'em up, go around claiming territories, fighting enemy captains.
Wait, which game was this again? I'm sorry, I zoned out.
Fate Extella?
Oh, yeah, I want that game. Is that out already?
Yeah, it's out.
Oh, cool.
And it's about, I think, 17 servants you can play as. They all have their own stories. But yeah.
I'm going for Attila. Yeah.
Everyone is. She's awesome.
The Attila the Hun girl. Because Attila the Hun's pretty great as just being a girl. I like that.
Bassy voiced cloaked murder Zero is back. So that's the thing that's happening again.
I'm going to murder you all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally like the voice that they use to disguise people's voices in crime shows and shit.
Burn, yes, that's my name.
It's not like that at all. And I'm going to say we're nipping that in the bud right now because something is banned. Someone isn't allowed to talk about it. So, yeah.
Casey, quick reminder, you do remember that you can mute him, right?
I do, but I try not to do that, especially in the first half hour of the show.
It's the first hour now.
Okay. Anything else, Arxum?
Enough of games. Overwatch updated. I played the Capture the Flag. And then I got the new Kingdom Hearts game. It's a little bit of a letdown.
Interquel thing, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, that's like final chapter prologue or something like that. I think. Yeah.
Something like that.
The game with Aqua is beautiful. It's made with the Unreal Engine. Gameplay is great, but I only beat it in 3 hours. And the cinematics in the third movie, I don't remember what it was called. They don't make much sense to me because I didn't play the mobile game that I was supposed to. That one was just confusing. It was a great idea. I did love it, but when you apply it to the whole Kingdom Hearts universe, the story gets even more convoluted.
That's a thing that the Kingdom Hearts series didn't really need.
Yeah, it was already complicated.
Okay, so next we'll go with Patient.
Alright, well, first real week of college behind me now. The first literal week was mostly just going over the syllabuses, so not a lot happening there. Got my first assignments finished, and the lowest grade out of them was an 80 out of 100, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's a good start for the semester.
Yeah.
Crossbrain is starting work on Thriller Bark, and I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be a while yet before we publish the next chapter, but we're working on it as we can with our schedules as they are. I mean, Zom and I are both back in college, and Hornet is always working full-time.
Okay. I'd like to say, sorry if I'm a little rough in the commentary thing that I do, because my usual method is to point out the things that I don't like and ignore everything that I do like, because I like it and I don't need to mention it. So I suck when it comes to reviewing things.
Gonna be honest, yeah, that sounds like a really sucky way to review things to do.
It is.
Oh, well. You do what you can. I mean, honestly, personally, I'd like to see more of what you like, because we seem to have similar thought patterns, and some of the things that you bring up help to justify things that were partly my ideas. So, anyway, besides that, tried a new local delivery system. Apparently, they just serve as delivery drivers for local restaurants, including ones that don't normally deliver. So that's nice.
Oh, so it's kind of like Favor.
I'm afraid that I don't know what that is.
It's basically a phone app where you just say, okay, I just want someone to go to the grocery store and get me, like, I don't know, milk or something, and someone will go and do that for you and bring it to your house. Or you can get someone to go and get McDonald's for you, or what have you. I don't know whether it's still around, actually. I know it was a thing in America for a while. I don't know whether it's still around.
Well, running a bit late, but it's in the middle of the lunch rush, so what do I expect? It's just the first time. I think I'll still probably be using it again, depending. Anyway, besides that, started going through the story mode on Mario Party 3. I bought the game a while back after being inspired by the Runaway guys, and...
There's a story mode in Mario Party?
Yeah, Mario Party. Every Mario
Holy
Party
shit.
has a story mode.
Not quite. Not quite. Every Mario
Yeah.
Party after Mario Party 2 has a story mode.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's a bit of a plot that you can unlock in Mario Parties 1 and 2, but there's only
it's
a
not-
blatant story mode.
Yeah, it's very 1 and 2 are kind of rough in that regard. But 3 is the one where it takes more of a forefront.
Zero. Right now, just sing anything. Anything at all.
Zero makes sweet, tender love to that microphone.
I don't know if my
Nicely
voice.
done.
I don't know when my voice will stop being deep, so I can't really bank on just singing.
Okay.
That was most impressive, Casey. Most impressive.
Yeah,
I know,
thank you.
right?
I'm sorry.
It's alright.
So-
Awesome.
Casey, you could. No, never mind.
So I went through story mode and beat it with one of the 6 playable characters, the main 6, and it turned out I beat it with Yoshi, and then it turns out that there's a little Mount Rushmore-like thing on the main menu for multiplayer mode, and Yoshi's head showed up on it, and the other 5 slots are blank. So guess what I'm doing now?
Yeah, unlocking it.
Hmm.
I played pretty much every single Mario Party game, but I have not played 9 and 10 because I do not like that car thing so much.
I haven't played all of them myself. I've played a bit of 6, played some of 8, and the main 3 for the Nintendo 64, but that's it. Probably.
When I was younger, I had to get like a surgery to remove my tonsils and adenoids, and when I was recovering from that, I got my mom to go and rent Mario Parties 1 and 2, and I played that on my Nintendo 64 while I recovered. So they're kind of special to me.
That's nice. That's very nice.
Zero's party of 1. Oh.
You know, you're not wrong.
Hmm.
Later on, my little brother played with me, but we were pretty brutal to each other in that game. That is not a game for friendship.
Yeah, no kidding. It's Mario Party.
It's like Silicox said, you want to yell at Grandma? This is the game.
Hmm.
Alright, so besides that, the Freudian trio of the Crossbrain has recently discovered we have a new favorite activity. Watching Weasel read the this bite because he hasn't caught up on it yet, and fangasm every 3 minutes.
Or, as me and Spoken like to call it, watching him marshmallow.
Hate you!
You know, I should probably start reading the Spites again.
Hmm.
Probably.
So Weasel just got to the end of chapter 31, and he's currently watching the anime's Navarone G8 arc, so that he will be able to catch a lot of what we do in the arc. So that'll be nice.
I actually just finished 2 episodes of the G8 arc before I rushed to watch the anime of this week.
I always get the G8 arc name wrong. I always think it's like G5 or something else because G8 is an actual thing, and I'm always like, it can't actually be the G8. It's got to be something else, and I'm confusing it.
Like G4, the TV channel that doesn't exist anymore.
G5 is actually canon. It's mentioned in the New World as one of the first places they go. It's where spoilers for One Piece post time skip. It's where Smoker and Tashigi get reassigned.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let me see. Anything besides that? College games. Oh yeah. Well, stumbled across another really good fanfiction, but that's for recommendations.
Yeah, it's recommendations.
So I'll leave it there for now, and well, now it's time for.
Oh, was that a prompt? Okay.
Yeah.
Lucan.
Okay. So I also finished up my first week back to college as well. I'm taking 2 classes, Western Civilization 1 and Social Psychology.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not much of a fan of history, but the teacher luckily makes it fun. Like, she does like funny quotes and uses Far Side comics and plays music in the class and all that.
Yeah, you know, it really does come down to the teacher.
Oh god.
You can make things interesting if you want.
And let's see. Oh, I've also been working on two comics, actually. One is a personal one. The other one is well, you're just going to have to wait and see. It's under wraps.
Cool. When it's finished, we'll put it in the link, though. Yay. I like it. Anything else?
Nothing comes to mind, I'm afraid.
Okay. Weasel.
Okay, I'll make this quick because we gotta get this show rolling. Let's see. I spent the entire week dealing with really, really shitty bureaucracy. Pardon my language. I apologize. Really bad bureaucracy. I played Sims 3. I watched the entire first season of Gotcha Man Crowds, and Spoken, Patient, and I recently launched a new One Piece fanfic on sufficient velocity. That's it.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
I'm not taking any part in writing that. I just offer some ideas.
Okay. So what's it called? So I can.
The Few, the Proud.
Okay. Proud. SV. One. Piece. Anything else that you've been doing?
Nope. That's it.
Okay, that was brief. Cool. Okay.
I didn't want to take up too much of your time.
We're at like 40 minutes, so we're actually at about the usual time for having finished this segment. So, next thing is random A. So, the anime that we were to watch this week was Qualidea Code. Well, I say this week, I mean the last 2 weeks, but whatever. So, this was generic. It was spectacularly generic.
Do you know why I dropped this now?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
See,
it
when
could have
you-
been worse. Could have been
When
worse.
you
worse.
assigned it to me, I felt like I already knew what was going on. I felt like I heard it before, so when I looked back on it, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this. I saw the first episode, went back when it was first published, and I just
same here.
dropped it after that.
Yeah.
Same here. So the thing about Qualidea Code is, so the premise is there is a big war that happens with some sort of aliens or other dimensional beings.
Basically, apocalypse by unknown forces.
And so they put all of the high school students and children and young people in cold sleep to preserve them for the future. And when they wake up, they have superpowers, and now they're all kind of leading the fight against the aliens, and the adults are all like support and whatnot. Yeah, the main character has the power of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen a series with gravity being the main protagonist's power before.
Gravity Rush.
Gravity Rush, yeah, that's a
Okay.
thing. So, but there's nothing really interesting that he does with it.
Hey, remember when we watched that other show? I forget the name of it because it was so generic and boring. That it was something about an academy, and it was a school, and there was a guy people thought was shit, but was supposedly actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Being a regular
Record
Magic
Gen-
High School.
Yeah, that other show that is exactly like this one, and exactly like so many other shows in existence.
It's not exactly the same because it doesn't seem to be like an actual
what show is that?
It's the irregular at the Magic Academy or whatever, and
It's not
this
exactly
one
the
will-
same, but apocalypse scenario, and kids are saving the world now, and they all have magic powers.
and their magic powers are: this girl has fire and ice guns. This person sings and does stuff. This person uses gravity to fly and shoot balls of gravity at enemies. I mean, I've seen far more creative usage of gravity powers in other medias, in other forms.
Yeah,
And
this
it's just...
of all times to watch this show, this was the worst time probably for me and Zero, because we had just come off of watching Ruby season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apocalypse scenario where kids have superpowers and are trying to save the world? Yeah. We very recently seen someone do this way, 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 way better. So, it was a little unfair.
It is.
And if you put aside like the whole setting of everything, let's say the whole apocalypse, the military school, the powers, out that whole bit, it's still generic. The characters are just awful. The main character is an arrogant douchebag who has a soft spot for the main love interest, who he still treats like shit.
Yeah.
Oh God! Please don't tell me it's his sister.
Well, it's a sister figure.
Yeah,
older sister. It's older sister figure who woke up late from cold sleep. So now they're the same age.
Oh, so she's not actually blood related?
No.
Okay.
It's Japan. Why would they be blood?
Sometimes
blood related.
Honestly,
because
they find loopholes though.
His
they
entire
always find
character
loopholes.
is so bad. I really, honestly, deep in my heart of hearts, wish something terrible would happen to her, just so he wakes the fuck up.
I mean,
what I don't get is the main love interest has big titties. That is so rare. You have no idea.
Well, like she, like I will say regarding her, you might not have seen, but when she falls into the water, very, very like quickly, it shows his gravity balls come, and he goes and he does pick her up out of the water. So it's like he does care to an extent, but at the same time, like he is not a good person. And if he has character growth, fine, that's fine. But I do not care about any of these characters, like at all.
I don't even know who most of them are. There's the main guy, who is an asshole, and that's his character trait. There is his sister figure, who is a ditz, and that's pretty much her character. And there's the lazy guy.
There's a lazy guy who doesn't care about ranking.
That just constantly throws shade at the main guy, so, favorite character, best character, obviously.
There's his sister, who has a cute design, but is also boring.
There's an actual sister in it? Okay, needs to be.
Yeah, the lazy guy, red-haired girl is lazy guy's sister.
Okay, fair enough. Don't really care.
Back when this was first coming out, I dared to watch the second episode.
Oh, okay.
And
there is,
and I know what comes up next.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Swimsuit scene.
Oh, shocker!
In the second episode.
Yeah, it's either. I'm pretty sure it's second or like beginning of third, but like, yeah.
Well,
jumped right into that one.
That sounds like desperation to me.
Yeah, speaking of fan service, there's fan service in the first like 5 minutes of this.
All right, so we all agree that it was
bland.
It was, yes, but we haven't done synopsis yet, so let's jump into synopsis. There is the apocalypse scenario. Bad things are happening, and Shithead is being protected by his sister figure, even though she can't really do anything. The usual apocalypse scenario. We can't survive this, but we're going to pretend we can anyway. Then
it'll all be okay.
It's the future, and Arsehole is... I'm just going to come up with new insults whenever I mention him. Is fighting off things. We don't know what the things are. It doesn't really tell us what the things are, but he's fighting things over the ocean, and flying, and doing gravity shit. Then... sister figure shows up, and she's being carried on a platform by two girls, somehow. And she's too late because everything's already dead, and then she falls in the water. And shower scene, and kind of establishing dialogue for their relationship, and it's boring and doesn't really endear me to any of the characters, let alone the protagonist. Sorry, I mean Fuckstain. And then we move on to, like, there's a group meeting, I assume, for their squad or something, and everyone's kind of a dickhole. And then there's another attack, and Sister Figure sings and buffs everyone, I think. And there is a big military there, and they're killing lots of things that we still don't know what they are, but they're things, and they need to die, apparently. And
yeah, speaking of the music, how do you like that dubstep?
It wasn't bad. I've heard worse.
Like it was surprisingly okay for this anime.
For this
The
anime,
music
is
was pretty
again
good,
damning
actually.
with faint praise, but yeah.
The music
Yeah,
was
had a
pretty good,
catchy
actually.
tune to it.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I didn't care about anything that was going on.
So the battle's happening, and Arse Biscuit is being an Arse Biscuit.
He's like, I'm going to go beat them all on myself because I care about ranking, because ranking gives me a pleasant feeling in the crotchal area.
Okay. Calm down.
Sorry.
Yep.
You
So
made a boner joke.
okay. Yeah. Okay. So the fight's happening, and the military's getting all butthurt because no, there was an actual person calling themselves a weasel on the show, so I'm not going to use that one. Dick Waffle. Dick Waffle is stealing all the kills, and he shouldn't be, and he's going away from his patrol area and stuff like that. And military protocol, and he thinks he's better than that.
Yeah, and there's the Hime girl who's the leader because she's the most powerful. That's the only reason why she's the leader of everyone, really.
Because she's an absolute dumbass.
She
is a dumb pig, dumb idiot. And her power is, hey, I have a giant laser sword that's like a giant wall of death. And I'm going to swing this around and end up destroying our own supply line.
Wait, let me guess. On episode 506, or somewhere down the line, it reveals that she's actually super smart, and her ditzy dumbassery.
Honestly, I don't think that this quality is this show's going to even have that much quality.
Oh God.
Honestly, I don't care. So, yeah, and it ends with all of them getting chewed out, and I can't come up with any more.
In this hand is the fuck I don't give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy, the lead, the adult guy who's like kind of in charge is like, okay, who's responsible for this? To which the obvious answer should be the head, because she's the one who used her power to destroy the thing.
Yeah.
But-
Head.
And everyone saw it happen, so, yeah.
Yeah, and it's dumb, and I really
Yeah,
don't care.
and instead of letting her take the blame, they blame the gravity guy.
You mean the penis? I can't think of another insult. It just... Yeah. I always miss the basic ones. It's always...
You mean the Chaos Emeralds? Oh.
Anyway.
Pick another anime already. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, so that was terrible. Well, not terrible. We've seen terrible.
bland.
Terrible exists, and we've seen it, and it's not this.
Extremely
But
mediocre.
yeah, it was not great.
Animation was really good though.
Oh, the animation and the budget are fine.
Yeah.
Like, it looks good, it sounds good, but it's not written well.
Yeah, it's like they threw a lot of money at crap.
I felt the same way about never mind, I forgot what the anime was called. That says a lot.
There's an anime called Handshakers that's out right now that has a lot of money thrown at it and is awful in every regard.
This is nice.
So let's just get ourselves another anime.
Yep.
So something fortunate just happened with me.
Okay.
The order that I had placed with that delivery service that I mentioned, rather expensive pizza, and apparently because it's about an hour late, they're refunding me completely. That's nice.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
So it's only like a charge for using the service then, I guess.
Apparently they had something of a... that particular restaurant hadn't set up their order system with the delivery service yet, so something like that.
Cool.
All right, so with that said, moving on to the new random. Who's rolling?
Zero, do you want to roll?
Yeah. Let me get my roly poly going. Okay. So what number? Yeah, it's 1 to 27 first, I believe.
First one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we get. 5.
Five. That's E.
All right. Easy. It's
It's easy. Huh? It's
yeah, I
easy.
figured you'd do that. 20.
Oh,
All right.
they're pretty unpredictable.
2.
2, and the winner is Earl and Fairy.
Okay.
A quick note for Weasel and Lucan.
Yeah.
One time per year, any regular member on this podcast has the ability to veto the next week's random A and
Wait,
have us
that was
re-roll.
only once a year?
Yep, once a year.
You didn't tell me that.
Yes, we did.
You're
No,
on
yes,
like
we-
3 episodes a year. It doesn't, like, you know.
Okay. So,
I mean, you've got yours back now, Arixum.
Earl and Fairy, or Hakushaku to Yosei. In the 19th century, we find Lydia Carleton living in Scotland, making a living as a fairy doctor. She is one of those rare humans who can see and communicate with fairies, but no one believes her. However, Edgar is in need of someone with a vast knowledge of fairy lore, and Lydia is just that person. After rescuing her, he becomes her employer, but there are many secrets and emotions that seem to follow Edgar, who claims to be the Blue Knight's Earl.
What?
And I'm not on next week, so I'm not going to veto.
You are an unpleasant person sometimes, is what you are.
Oh, female main character. I can get behind that.
This looks shoujo AF, so...
I like shoujo though.
Well, then I'm sure you will love Scotland and Fairy Girl.
Fairy wind.
I think I'm gonna work next week.
Apologies for not vetoing this, Casey, but I'm going to save mine for something that's more like Chubra.
Oh
Well,
god,
here's the thing.
Chubra.
I was on the fence about this, whether to veto it or not, because Chubra still exists and we still haven't done it. So I was saving my veto for that. But if I know Patient's he's got me covered on that front, I don't know, that changes things. Let me think.
But don't you want to know about Edgar, who is her employer with many secrets and emotions?
If you'd like, I could take one for the team and veto it for you guys if you really don't want to watch it.
Hey, you don't have to use your veto.
No,
he
you
can
don't-
watch it next week.
There is no taking one for the team when people like Guy are being assholes and just using their vetoes to screw with people. You don't
Or
have
not
to do that.
because as the case
Guy
may
goes
be.
first forever.
He's a terrible person. Anyway,
Well,
yeah. So if you don't want to do something, then you veto it. But otherwise, just every man or woman for themselves in this circumstance.
I want Kenshi to talk about this, so I'm not going to veto it.
That's a good point. Kenshi's going to be on next week, isn't he?
Ooh. All right.
All right.
So, Earl and Fairy it is then.
So it is.
All right.
It's going to suck for me, but if I get to watch Kenshi suffer, then I'm fine with it. All right.
Watch, Kenshi's going to bow out at the last minute.
Just don't anyone tell him about it.
Well, I have to tell him so. he
Oh
can
my
watch
god,
it.
this art style. This is shoujo as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Oh,
fairness,
look at this.
the last shoujo show we watched was actually kind of okay.
What was that one?
What was it called? It was the Victorian England one.
There's Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Shakespeare one?
No. Oh yeah, that was shoujo as well. But
Yeah,
that's,
MC-chan has a bit more boobage than most shoujo protagonists, though.
yeah.
Here's an image for those of you who don't want to search it up of what Casey will be watching. Just for those
Or you
people
can't see the
that call right
boobage from that angle.
Actually,
No, but you
can
can see the man cleavage though.
That man cleavage.
Zero, you say that now.
No.
Oh. It would have been so good though.
Man cleavage.
Yeah, so that's that done. We've got a new show that we're gonna watch, and
Okay, let's talk about topics.
yeah, So we have two topics. It's the ones that Bomber BCM suggested a while ago that we're still catching up on for reasons. So first one is the best and worst fanfiction communities. To be clear, this is not necessarily about like websites or whatever that do fanfiction-y stuff, but also like fandoms, which ones have the best and worst stuff in them, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, let's start with... I feel like I'm lisping more than I usually do. Anyway, let's start with what are the... Always start with the negative. So, what are the worst ones, do we think? Which ones are just... There's just not enough to them, or a lot of the stories are just things that are not good.
I don't want to touch anything in the Undertale fandom.
Oh!
And I like Undertale. I like Undertale, I do. But they've created about 20 different AUs.
It's true, there are a ton of AUs. There's actually a Tumblr page made to keep track of all the AUs.
Oh, Christ.
So basically, most of the fanfics are set up in AUs that people create, and hardly any take place in the original setting, and it's a bit upsetting.
There was one that was kind of in the original setting. You remember, Zero? The one that I linked to you a while ago?
No.
May or may not have traumatized you a little bit.
Don't bring that up. Don't you dare. I will leave this podcast right here.
Okay. I'll just let that sit there then. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But, yeah. I once considered, when I was getting off of Undertale, and I was like, this is like a pretty good, fun game. I was thinking, I could totally write a fanfic for this. And then I looked at the category, and I was like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's...
You can do a Zero, make a difference.
One thing that's regarding fanfiction, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh.
People who try to make a coherent story out of that game, I feel for them. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know whether you can blame that on the community for that being not so great, because it's not based on something great either.
Yeah, but it's either they try to make sense of it or they try to write porn.
Well, that's literally every fanfiction community in existence, but okay.
Yeah, but it's not great. I don't like that fandom.
Mm.
I like all this. I tend to like horror games and all the secret lore and secrets in them, but that's as far as my curiosity for the FNAF series goes.
It's like, yeah, even the creator admits that he got a little convoluted with the lore.
Yeah, and that community is just, it's a mess. There's also, I think, how about Kingdom Hearts?
I was literally about to say, we have talked about Kingdom Hearts community a few times on this podcast.
Yeah, home of the high school fix.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single Kingdom Hearts fic that was both good and not dead, or something along those lines.
I've seen a couple that try.
Yeah, I've seen ones that try too, but the most popular fic in the fandom is one involving some of the members of Organization 13 attempting to save others from really bad fan fiction or something, which involves a lot of yaoi.
Oh shit, I remember that.
Yowie!
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is just one of those series, like, there's going to be yaoi regardless. They're just going to find a way.
Isn't like most of Bleach's fandom yaoi?
Nah,
like
it's mostly boobs, actually.
It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I mean, Kingdom Hearts I can kind of understand, because two of the main characters have a very close relationship.
Very Naruto Sasuke.
Yeah, and then the villain faction are almost unanimously male. So,
And they're all very handsome.
also,
It's Amorous.
my favorite character in Organization 13 was the woman Loxine. By the way. She was
The
best
girl one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was an unrepentant bitch, and that is apparently my fetish. So
We talked about this. Me and him talked about this in Zero Interest, where there was a character like her that came up, and yeah, that's what he's into.
yeah, apparently.
I wouldn't be surprised if he liked Audrey from Honey Pop.
No.
Once
Really?
again,
Not Audrey
I
from Honey Pop?
Dude, she's the best girl.
I would like to point out for the record that there was meant to be one other female in Organization 13, that being the main antagonist of Chain of Memories, Marluxia. But they elected to 86 that, despite Marluxia being pink hair, pink scythe, pink flower petals, having flower first ability. But nonetheless, they didn't want both of the treasonous agents to be female.
Yeah, that would have been bad. That would have been pretty bad. So, I can understand that mindset.
Oh, it's Marluxia? I thought it was Marluxia.
No, it's pronounced Marluxia.
Oh, okay.
They play fast and loose with the pronunciations. Yeah. Bleach,
Play
though.
fast and loose.
We were talking about Bleach until I made us back so that we could talk about that a bit more, Kingdom Hearts. There is some good stuff in Bleach. There is quite a bit of good stuff in Bleach, if you look hard enough. But you do have to look pretty hard.
There is a diamond in that rough.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it. It's inevitable. Not inevitable. Well, kind of inevitable. Its eventual fall, sting a little bit more than it probably should, because it was good for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I do occasionally look through Bleach to see if there's anything new that's kind of good, and every now and again, there's something that, a flower grows through the weeds, kind of thing.
Burner finger.
If he must, yeah. That was a thing that we had fun with when he showed up. So many sex jokes, but yeah.
Yeah. Me, personally, I kind of have to stay away from Naruto and Harry Potter, mostly because it's all the same.
I stay away from Harry Potter fanfiction.
Yeah, there was a time when I kind of enjoyed reading through it, but once you've seen that there's 1,000 dark Harry fics at least.
I know. I remember reading this one story where Harry Potter was a total genius. It was overpowered. It was great. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then I finished it. Okay, let's read another one. And then there was a literal carbon copy of that one. And I went to another one. And it was another carbon copy of that one.
Yeah,
and I saw
a lot of those.
they're just factory produced.
If you're looking for originality, you shouldn't read fan fiction.
In fairness, yeah, that's not a terrible point.
Yeah.
The only time I read Harry Potter fanfiction is when they're crossovers, because you can find more gems in the crossovers than the general.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
I don't know. I mean, Naruto, I feel like I've seen pretty much everything there is to see, unless it's, like you say, a crossover where it does lend itself to more innovation, usually.
Crossover with Ruby or something. I don't know.
Actually,
those are pretty. I hear there's this one Naruto and Ruby crossover that's pretty good, and people should check it
Yeah,
out.
I don't know. I heard it was pretty bad, but
Eat me.
I especially try to stay away from Naruto crossovers because he's in every single world.
oh, I
Somehow-
do not like Naruto crossovers.
And he's
Because-
all godlike. He is a
Yeah.
pimp. He
Not
is
Mo-
know-it-all.
There are
Most-
times, like a certain Naruto and Ruby, where he's
Most Naruto
downgraded to fit the setting.
Like
most Naruto
99% of the time.
crossovers, and the thing that there is an author that killed me on this was Neon Sengetsu.
Oh yeah.
All he does is Naruto crossovers that he never finishes, and you're like, okay, what's this? Oh, it's Naruto's become a super special Super Saiyan that has super special powers, and his personality is completely the opposite of everything he was. Well, okay.
They do realize that. Quick question: is that Saiyan as in literally, or Saiyan as in just that kind of power?
I mean, there was a DBZ fic.
6
Where-
of one, half a dozen of the other. Like, I think he was actually an android in that one that Zero's talking about.
No, there was another one where he was like a Saiyan, a super special Saiyan.
Oh, okay.
They do realize that
Special snowflake
Saiyan is
Saiyan.
not. They do realize that Saiyan is a different species altogether, right?
There is some stupid stuff.
Yeah, well,
out
the
there
thing
with
with
Naruto
Neon
crossovers.
Zangatsu is he is a terrible example, because what he does is he takes pride in being the first person to do a Naruto crossover with X series, and that's fine, but all you've accomplished really is you've started a story that you are deliberately never going to finish. So, what was the point?
One of my first fanfics ever, my second fanfic ever, because I've mentioned the first one is gone from the internet. It can never be found.
Mm-hmm.
The second fanfic I ever wrote was a Naruto Okami crossover.
Quick thing before you continue. Casey, that reminds me. Did you ever look into the Wayback Machine?
I forgot to do it.
You will never find it!
I'm not looking for yours.
Okay.
You know,
He's looking for zeros.
you don't have to do it.
Kind of do.
Okay, continue, Weasel.
Oh, that's all I was going to say. One of my second fanfics was, in fact, a Naruto crossover with Okami. It'd be conceited to talk about it anymore.
I could see that, though. That one kind of makes sense based on the whole,
Wolf thing or fox
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Mm.
Animal power.
There is a connection there, like Japanese pantheon includes Inari, which is a fox god or something. So
You
Yeah,
can
I mean-
you can make that work.
It's not hard to find good concepts for fan fiction. It's hard to find a good way to write it out.
Execute it. Yeah.
Yes, execute it. That's good. That's it.
Like it's just I don't know. There's some really bad, like good ideas, really good concepts, but there is some bad executions.
well, here's the thing: the fanfiction writers really are inexperienced. They're not professional writers. They just do it for fun.
Yeah, I know.
And more often than not, just getting into it. Like the ones that stick around a long time, yeah, they're probably gonna have a lot more decent stuff. But most people are just getting into it. So that
Like my
means-
stuff is crap.
yeah, and you stuck with it, and you got better. That's how it works. But
Still crap. I've been making a concerted effort to remove all adverbs from future chapters because adverbs are terrible.
yeah, they kind of are. It's something I need to work on as well. But
Because I've been like, oh man,
let me
if you
finish
use
my
an
fucking
adverb.
point.
No, I'm going to interrupt you. No, you can actually go. I won't.
I don't even know what I was saying anymore because you interrupted that many times. So
Anyways, adverbs. Adverbs are kind of crutches for writing, so don't use one unless it's absolutely completely necessary because it tends to just weaken your sentences. All right, there we go.
And actually, in honesty, Hornet of the Crossbrain, she seems to share that opinion. He cuts down on a lot of adverbs that Zom writes in. Casey, your opinion? Do you think that there are too many adverbs in the chapters?
I would have to look back and actually
Focus
check
on
and focus
seeing.
on.
I've been reading. No, I don't think there are too many adverbs.
It's like if you say something like sprinted quickly doesn't even need to be there.
Yeah, that is a bit redundant.
And that's where a lot of the problem with adverbs come from. And otherwise, you could just reword the sentence or the stuff before it to make a stronger sentence or stronger point.
Yeah.
And it just sounds better.
Fair. All right.
Yeah. What the hell was I going to say? It's bothering me now. Thanks, Zero.
We were talking about fandoms, and then we started talking about adverbs briefly. So it's all up
Yeah,
to you.
because you wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah, I know. Didn't I say it at the beginning that I was sabotaging this podcast?
Yeah. So Yeah, people are just getting into writing, so they are not experienced, so they will have good ideas. They're like anyone in the world can have suddenly, oh, this would be a good idea for a story. That's, to be perfectly honest, that's kind of the easy part. The difficult part is, living up to that idea and making that idea something worth reading because you've written it well and not just because it's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree, because I've seen some plots where, like, it sounds interesting, it sounds like a good idea, but they don't execute it very well.
So that's what I was going to say, Zero. Asshat.
Well, I don't really wear hats.
No, you can't fit them over the giant ass that is already there. That's how that works.
You're not wrong.
Is that topic finished?
That's
then?
the worst side. This was a two-sided topic with the best and worst. Yeah. So we've done the worst. Let's do the best. What nails it, or does particularly well, at least. We can't really say nails it. That's not fair. So, which communities do it better than the others, let's say, as a qualifier, because...
Well, I don't have much of an opinion to add here, seeing as how I'm not really involved in very many communities. So all I can really suggest is One Piece, and honestly, that's as much hit or miss as a lot of others. So
One Piece tends to be on the better side, I feel.
Ish.
More than others.
In absolute fairness, a lot of the stuff from One Piece is stuff I'm not going to read. Because, as with most things, there is a lot of yaoi, which is not a thing I want to read.
It is what I want to read, though.
Fair play to people that enjoy it, but it's not my bag, so I'm not going to read it. So a lot of the One Piece section, I just don't look at it. Same with Bleach. Same with Harry Potter. I have to, when I'm searching for new fanfiction, I have to go into the filters and say, for example, One Piece, I have to remove Zoro or Ace from the characters that are featured. Because
all the yaoi, all of it.
In fact, there aren't enough options to remove characters, because if I really wanted to get rid of all that stuff, I would have to remove Zoro, Sanji, Ace, Sabo, Law, probably Kid as well. Yeah, so 2 is not enough filters for that. Similarly for Harry Potter, I would have to get rid of Ron, and Draco, and Voldemort, and Malfoy Sr., and Snape, that was it. Snape would have to go too. And Dumbledore, obviously.
Yeah, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it, Casey.
Yeah.
The worst part is that it's actually justified with Dumbledore.
It is,
it is.
Actually, yeah, Dumbledore's probably not necessary, to be perfectly honest. So
one thing, though, like...
He's old.
I know, but with the new movies coming out, there'll probably be a lot more young Dumbledore fanfics out there.
And more importantly, Dumbledore is canonically gay.
Yeah.
And it's been hinted at that him and Grindelwald, I think I pronounced his name, were items. So.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
some of that.
Regarding fandoms, I would like to say, like, I would, since I write for it, I would like to say that Persona has a good category.
Well, it kind of does, but I've been soured by a couple of really kind of reprehensible stories. So.
There's some really bad ones in there, and like the main problem I have with the category is that most of the stories tend to be the same concept, or literally just it's just self-insert.
Well, that's why when I was writing To Across, I did research to see if it had been done before, and it turns out twice before, but not very well.
Yeah, I when I was doing my story, I looked to see if it had been done before. No, it hadn't. Then again, my story involves the main character turning into a robot, so.
Yeah, and my story very deliberately had been done before, but that was kind of the point. So.
Yeah, but the problem is that with Persona, it tends to people tend to just go for the safe route of, oh, this is after P4 in the future, or this is I think it was like one person did a reset the Persona story, which was a time loop thing. Yeah. And ever since then, it's just been, oh, hey, another time loop, another time loop, another time loop.
Or, hey, all of the characters are now in college, and there's a pedophile
They're
that
legal.
wants to rape and murder the protagonist's sister, but he's a good guy, apparently. Like I say, there are a couple of stories
What
that
fics
you really...
have you been reading?
That was one of the first stories in the Persona section that I read, and that is why I am soured against the Persona section.
Okay, then. Why'd you read it in the first place?
Because that's not how it sold itself.
Oh, okay.
Like, the thing with the Persona series is every single self-insert tries to be a fairly English story, for example. And I've seen...
My bad.
Yeah. Or I've seen lots of things where they try to just do the whole, oh, hey, the P3 female and male protagonist are in the same world now.
Yeah.
Whoa, shenanigans.
Trying to be Fool's Tournament, and there's like 100 stories with that exact premise. And in a section that has like 5,000 stories, that's a lot.
Yeah. There's like 4.7 thousand whatever stories.
Really? 5,000 I guess, but I'm apparently pretty close.
Yeah, you were really close. But like the top, if you look at the top like rated stories, pretty much everything in that category is going to be a copy of one of those top stories. And I don't think I've seen anybody copy my story because it's so weird and unique.
Yeah.
At least. But yeah.
We were trying to do best at some point, is a thing we were trying.
Yeah, we were.
Oddly enough,
and I said I would like to recommend it, but...
We mentioned it in worst, but oddly enough, I think I might actually say Bleach is one of the better ones.
Someone actually copied the premise of my worst fanfic ever. And to be honest, I find it a bit of more of a compliment than an insult. It meant I did something right in the worst fanfic I ever wrote.
Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I've had somebody directly copy me for a fanfic before. Like, to the point where, like, it was my Fairy Tail and Persona crossover thing I did that I've long since dropped because Fairy Tail is garbage.
Oh, God.
And it only gets worse with every chapter, from what I've seen. I've not actually been reading it. And, like...
What don't you like about it?
What?
What don't you like about it?
There's a big time skip, and after that it just goes downhill. In Fairy Tail.
In what way?
Every way. Literally every way. There's a 7-year time skip, right, in Fairy Tail? But what happens is the characters are brought forward 7 years. Rather than they grow and train for 7 years.
Yeah, so everyone else managed to get stronger and be awesome, whereas these characters all stay the same. And it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of a cool inversion of the concept. So all of the really strong characters are just kind of normal now. That's pretty unique and interesting. That's a good take on it. And then
they have a training thing.
And then they all get Deus Ex Machina power-up for no reason.
Yeah, they do like a month of training, and now all of a sudden they're just as good.
They very deliberately don't do a month of training. They spend a month in the spirit world having a party, and then they come back and like, oh no, we missed a month because time flows differently. We need to Deus Ex Machina the crap out of this so that we actually get the training that we were supposed to be doing done.
Yeah.
So it happens in a day.
And then there's a whole time travel thing, and it just gets really dumb.
It got incredibly complicated, and it takes the... everyone, let's be friends, and friendship is the power of love and wonderfulness, and it takes all that to a ridiculous extreme. Like, the woman that, threatens to murder a child in the middle of a match to win it and cheat, is now a friend in the next arc, somehow, without much explanation.
And, like, it was already pretty bad on that whole friendship thing, back with, what was it, Gagio?
I have gone on record as saying how really, really creepy that relationship is.
It is.
It's so
and
creepy.
You know what? I was willing to go forward after that, but once you get further, and it's like, no, we are full friendship here.
What relationship?
Levi and Gajiel.
Okay.
Gajiel kind of nearly kills her.
Yeah, their first interaction
humiliates
is
her
him
and
beating the shit out of her and her two best friends, then stringing her up from a tree in the middle of her hometown, branding her, and leaving her for the people to find in the morning, humiliated. And now she loves him for some reason.
He's been working hard at redemption.
True, he has.
Not sure that really sells me on why there should be a relationship there. Like, that almost feels Stockholm Syndrome-esque.
It
It's a
feels
little
like
creepy.
it's something that would be traumatic to a character, and it's not treated as such.
Well, I think it's because I think the shippers might be involved because there are a lot of Gajiel and Levi shippers out there, and I don't know if that kind of pushed that into there. Like, I can see them like maybe developing a relationship, but it would take like a long time, like years.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
for her to get
That's the
over
problem.
It really doesn't. They get almost no screen time together, and then all of a sudden she's putting hearts in things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
Is that a metaphor for something?
No. One of the big shipping moments was in the Island arc. I forget what it was called because it was a stupid name. But she helps him with her word magic, and the word she sends has a heart in the middle of it. Like,
Oh, the iron?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Basically, Fairy Tale is not good. And, yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I had written a Fairy Tale and Persona crossover, and then the category was completely empty, basically. There's one other story that was long abandoned, and I wrote something, and then somebody wrote another story, which was worse, but also copied mine. Like, to the point, like, almost completely, like, point for point.
So pretty much plagiarism, plain out plagiarism.
Yeah.
I
had a
can't
similar
exactly
experience.
say. I can't exactly say that Blue Moon was worse or better than Unknown Origins. It was more like Blue Moon was blander than Unknown Origins.
Okay. Arxum, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I had a similar experience. So for my Don Machi and Bloodborne crossover,
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
yeah,
Mhm.
Space Battles,
like it.
hated it.
Of course they did. Space battles, they hate everything.
Yeah, well, to the point though, they made their own version of it. They one of the authors outright said that, oh yeah, I read this one story by blah blah blah, and gotta say I didn't like it. So here's my uptake on it, and it's pretty much close to the same exact thing. Belle goes through the Bloodborne scenario, levels up, gets a little bit crazy, and then comes back to the Damachi world. And
Is it now OP and super insane?
yeah, and there's hardly any difference between mine and his, so I don't see what he didn't like in it.
Wow, remind me, patient and spoken, not to post the Few the Proud on Space Battles.
No, that's the thing though. I didn't post it on Space Battles. It's on fanfiction.
Yeah,
Really?
It's space battles being superior, as they tend to be. I do not have a good opinion of space battles, to be perfectly honest.
I think the person who copied my story deleted it after I left a review. I'm not sure. I was like, that seems familiar.
Any other categories that are particularly noteworthy for being surprisingly okay? We'll use that as the descriptor, shall we?
I found the Fallout fanfics are generally quite good quality.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't spend a lot of time in the Fallout section. They
Well, actually,
don't really ping on my radar for whatever reason. So
The fanfic I recommended last time was a Fallout fic, so is it the one I'm recommending this time is the Fallout fanfic too.
Oh.
You find a lot of gems in the Fallout fandom.
I guess I should be spending more time in the Fallout section.
I've not read any of these fics in this category for a while, but the Legend of Zelda category tends to have a lot of big, sweeping epics.
True.
They tend to do a lot with the setting, and I really appreciate that.
True. In fact, that's why I've never written a Legend of Zelda fanfic. I don't think I can measure up.
Because like they go full like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, like everything. Like they create a full world for that. because people really love Legend of Zelda.
Holla.
I was gonna say challenge accepted, but I know nothing about Hyrule lore.
I can help. I know everything about Hyrule lore.
I have the Hyrule Historia right here.
Oh my god.
He beats me.
Dorks.
I'm not gonna lie. I only
It's
recently
my childhood
started to play-
and my current life. Zelda.
I've only recently started to play Legend of Zelda, like the past couple of years, right after high school.
I've been playing ever since I was a kid. Yes, darn it. I already have the Arts and Artifacts book pre-ordered since like November or earlier.
Yeah. You know what's
I am a big
surprisingly
fanboy
good?
for that. What?
Mass Effect. Oddly enough. Even odder that I'm bringing it up. But Mass Effect, there's very few that are just demonstrably
Probably
bad
because
by comparison.
Probably because there's so many who don't like what Mass Effect does, and they try to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, the whole reason a lot of people don't like Mass Effect's big change is because it went from moderately hard sci-fi to sci-fantasy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see that pissing off quite a few actual decent writers. So they're like, okay, I need to fix this, so I'm going to fix this. And they do, and it comes out pretty good. And there's, like I say, if I wanted to get rid of most of the crap stories on fanfiction.net for Mass Effect, I just put in filter out Kai Lang, and it's just like done.
Ooh, burn!
Or possibly Starchild. I don't know whether that guy gets a character or not. Technically, he's not one, but... I can't really think of any other good sections, though, in particular.
One thing that I just remembered that it's bad is the Pokemon section.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, God.
Oh, after Ash's recent loss at the X League, all of his friends betray him and are sick of his shit. So he goes and trains for a while and comes back and everyone loves him again.
Yeah.
Say hello to every goddamned anime Pokemon fic in existence. Oh my god.
Edgy, 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 edgy.
What?
Edgy.
Shall we move
I'm
on?
sorry. I was looking up Kai Lang. What did I miss?
Pokemon fanfics are edgy.
Oh god, stay away from Pokemon fanfics
Yes,
in general.
do.
Alright.
Ugh.
I think we've covered... we haven't really mentioned any good ones as much.
I said Bleach. I said Mass Effect. Someone
I
said
said Fallout.
Fallout, yeah.
I said Zelda, but...
No one really
Zelda,
cares about
yes.
Zelda because you're dorks.
Screw you.
Why does me liking Zelda make me a dork, but you reading Mass Effect and writing fanfiction make you not one?
Because I'm me.
You see,
You're
that's
albino.
a terrible answer because you're just reaffirming my faith that you are a dork.
It's because he's albino and I think British.
It's because I'm me. I mean, you're you, but I think I sell it better, so I think it's okay.
I think that the person who
we...
I don't want to get into this because you will lose. So we're going
Is that what you
to
think? Okay.
stop here and move on to the next one. Next
What
topic.
was the next topic, and do we have enough time for
We
it?
kind of don't. We're running close to, it's like an hour and 40, I want to say. I didn't check the time for when we actually started.
What was the next
I
topic?
think we started like a few minutes after 1 o'clock, like around like 104, 105. So
Okay,
it's been almost
start
an
it.
hour.
It'll be a long episode if it's too long. I don't care. It's like 5 extra minutes for editing. Who cares? So, besides, this will be kind of quick. How to improve communities. How to make them better when they're kind of shit, like the shit ones that we just mentioned. Well, the obvious answer is
Something good.
to write some good stories for it. Like,
Yeah.
Zero mentioned a section that he hated, and he wrote a story in it, or he looked at a section and said, wow, this is shit, and I hate it. And it's because there were no good stories in it. So the obvious answer to it would be, write a good story, and you'll inspire people to write other good stories. But
I've done that.
that's a lot of work for basically no reward, because no one's going to review your story, because it's the only good one in a shit section.
Well, actually, no. That's the opposite. People do review your story because it's the only good one.
Okay.
As somebody who's done this,
I'm talking
yeah.
on scales, rather. Sorry. Like, you could write a good story in a section that has good stories, and people will find it easily, and you will get a lot of reviews and a lot of praise and favorites and follows, and you will get in-depth reviews saying they like this, and they didn't like this, and it's constructive criticism. You write a good story in a shit section, and you get unending praise because you are the only drop of water in an ocean of sand. So, yeah.
And boy, is that a good feeling.
It is. It's good, but kind of shallow.
You're not going to get a lot of constructive criticism unless you go into one that has good fics already. But if you want to improve it, then you're going to have to be that good fic that people begin to eventually hold up to a standard, and then
it is
you're
unfortunately
get a big ego.
Doing something for the community, and you will get nothing back from it. So it is magnanimity, is what that is. You can't expect to get anything back from doing something like that.
It's magnanimity.
Yeah. Whatever. So, yeah, that's probably the best way to improve a community. I don't know how else you could do it.
I mean, like, you're just one person, is the thing. The only thing you can possibly do is to write, I guess. And even then, there's no guarantee that you won't be drowned out by all the garbage. So, some things can't be fixed easily or just by one person. And, if it's with fandoms, it helps if something official comes out that improves everything, but that rarely happens. So.
That's the thing about communities. It's all about people doing things for them so that they get better. That's how it works. You do something for the community, and it will get better. Otherwise, it'll just stagnate and be shit forever.
Yeah. So that easy question, I guess.
Yes. Only easy because it's so depressing what the real answer is.
Yeah.
It's a simple answer, but no one really wants to do it because it sucks and you get nothing out of it.
Yeah. Well, that's life. It sucks and you get nothing out of it. Existential crisis aside, let's move on.
Yeah, I guess that's, like I said, it was going to be a short topic. Yeah, okay. So, recommendations. Let's find the good stuff that exists.
I have a couple, actually. I was planning on limiting it to just one, but after you mentioned how you feel about there not being enough good Bleach fan fictions, or someone did, I decided I'd go ahead and recommend this one this week. The best comparison I can draw... what was that story I recommended a while back? Dear Order, yes. Yep. This is basically a long series of short one-shots. It's called Gin's Notebook. Basically, a bunch of one-shots based on Gin Ichimaru's warped sense of humor, essentially.
Good, I like Gin.
So yeah, it's basically while Orihime is in Las Noches, Ukiura delivers the notebook to her and she reads it aloud with him in the room. There's a brief little snippet after each chapter of Ukiura's reaction. And it's basically just a bunch of silly little one-shots happening at various points in time in the Bleach universe. For example,
I'm reading the first real chapter at the moment, so.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually pretty good. Yeah.
It's the next one that I think that the next one is what I really found funny.
All right. So, what else were you going to recommend?
Yes. This one comes with a stamp of approval from all three of the Freudian trio of the Crossbrain. It's a new one-piece self-insert story called 12 Red Lines.
Okay.
Basically, well, it's a bit, it's easier to look into it. I mean, I'll say for now, the story's pretty young. It's only got about 5 chapters. First published on January 11th and last updated 2 days ago. The author's name is Viking, or apparently it's the
Viking.
German word from which Viking came. It's just Viking with an R on the end. The main plot is basically that the character ends up, after a suicide attempt on the Going Merry a couple of days after they paint.
Oh,
You alright?
dying live on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm fine. As I was saying, it's basically she winds up being saved from drowning on the Going Merry about 2 days or so after Usopp painted the flag, so it's pretty much immediately after Syrup Village. And given the fact that she's wearing a necklace that has the Straw Hat's Jolly Roger on it, the truth of her comes out immediately. And, well, Luffy still insists that she joins the crew based on the fact that she has their Jolly Roger, and she concedes to it. And, well, average character, not a lot of fighting capabilities. She's got some karate experience, some mild weapon experience, but definitely not enough to stand up to
Anything.
a lot of character. Well, she does do something pretty interesting against Nezumi and his goons, but I'll leave that for you to see. So basically, it's the for want of a nail concept is very dominant here. We'll be seeing there are a lot of changes to be made, and she's a bit further in One Piece canon than Cross is, for one thing. She knows about Sanji's past.
All right.
It seems like this one, like, this isn't criticism in particular. It's just something I'm noticing based on the intro author's note. Your story seemed to attempt to emulate the feel of One Piece in the generally cheerful and very excitable air to it.
This is why Zomniac thinks so highly of the story, because it can successfully blend the real life feels of darkness into the story, just the themes of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's
To
that's part of
elaborate a little bit, the story starts with first it mentions an unreliable narrator, then it mentions this fic features a depressed point of view character, mentions of self-harm, depictions of attempted suicide, or descriptions, and similar are present.
Yeah, so this is me saying your one tries to emulate One Piece's tone generally. This one seems like it's not trying to do that. It's trying to do its own which is entirely fair, to be perfectly clear.
We're taking the point of view of somebody who suffers from depression.
On the other hand, I would like... Dang it, she changed it. Never mind, forget I said anything.
I don't necessarily feel inclined to read this, only because I know somebody who does suffer from depression, and I just don't want more of that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like I said, there is nothing wrong with a darker take on a setting that is generally cheerful. I mean, there are dark elements to One Piece, no word of a lie there, but there is nothing wrong with doing it this way. I mean, Serpent guided it to great success, even if he doesn't think so. So that is not a negative on this story. It's just something I thought worth mentioning.
Yeah, well, Weasel refused to read it for similar reasons of the dark themes in it, but after the first chapter, it diminishes significantly, and, well, aside from that, they're pretty lengthy chapters. I mean, it's overall 5 chapters and 80,000 words, so...
Yeah, that's a lot. I can't write that much for a chapter. I mean, the most I've ever written was 17,000 words for a chapter. That chapter was bloated.
Yeah.
Another thing that's notable here, her beta reader happens to be Blue Jay Blaze, author of another One Piece SI fic called One Piece, Two Piece, Red Piece, Blue Piece. It's not a bad story by any stretch of the imagination, but well, you'd have to read it for yourself to see what I mean. It's well, for one thing, she falls into the trap of overly bloating the crew.
Okay. Please don't take this personally, but speaking of overly bloating, this has gone on for quite a while.
My apologies.
That's all right.
Okay, I have a recommendation.
Okay.
So Greek Guy was the one who commented and recommended this to me, and it was my Transdimensional Overpowered Protagonist Harem comedy is wrong as expected. And this is a crossover between Origaru and Danmachi, which Origaru is abbreviation for the full Japanese name, which translates to my romantic harem comedy is wrong as expected, or something like that. A romantic comedy.
You're going to have to link this because I got halfway through retyping the title and I already...
No, I will link it for you, okay?
Thank you.
But the premise of this is the main character from Origaru, which is my youth romantic comedy is wrong as I expected. He ends up in Danmachi 2 years before canon starts, and now Origaru is a very interesting series in that it has an anime, but the light novel has a very distinctive style to it, and it follows that style pretty much to a T. We're taking the perspective of the main character with some chapters that switch perspectives. But the main character has some of the most just funny and interesting narration that I've seen in a story. Echo. Yeah, so basically, main character does not like to really, like, he knows about tropes, and he knows about light novels and anime because he's an otaku, and so he's immediately like, okay, I need to find a main character because this feels like a light novel, and I know it is.
Irony.
And
I like it.
Like, yeah, and so he ends up becoming a sort of a teacher role to Belle from Danmachi, the main character, Belle Crano, and there is a very kind of cool dynamic that goes on between two of them that I really like, where, like, the thing about the main character of Origaru is he essentially doesn't trust people at all. Like, he really thinks the worst of people. And upon finding out that Bell Crannel is a complete innocent cinnamon roll, he's like, okay, I gotta make sure he doesn't end up dying, and he's a good person. I gotta protect the pure and innocent cinnamon roll.
Okay.
But
He's
also,
a cinnamon roll.
For the
But
past
also-
2 hours, you've been talking about cinnamon rolls. I just want a cinnamon roll right now.
I am hungry. I love cinnamon rolls.
Like, I hope my stomach growling hasn't come up on the mic because I'm that hungry. Oh my god.
Like, he's like, I need to make sure he's strong enough so that
Actually,
he doesn't die because, yeah.
Someone talk.
Go
he's
Zero.
like, I need to make sure he's strong enough so that he doesn't die and I can make it to the end of the dungeon and then I can go home, basically. I'm going to leech off the main character and become an important character so that I have at least enough plot armor to survive. And it's very well written. It's on Space Battles. The author updates very regularly. And yeah, go check it out.
All right. I'd like to cut in. I don't have another recommendation for myself, but Spoken did leave one before he left, so I just want to bring that up before we forget about it.
Okay.
Okay. It's a crossover fic between Worm and a apparently very obscure mid-90s anime called Luna Varga. Apparently it was only 4 episodes that were never even subbed, and it was difficult to find even then. So he took what he wanted from that plot, combined it with Worm, and the result is Taylor Varga on Sufficient Velocity. That's the extent of what I know about it. I'm not a fan of either of those, so...
Yeah, me neither.
And that's my... I think that's the last I'll be talking today.
Okay. Anyone else got a recommendation?
Please, I hope someone does, because I do, but I can't talk right now because I'm having a hypoglycemia attack, and I don't have any food, and I can't leave.
That sounds bad.
Someone have a recommendation while I get food? Someone?
Oh, right. I should have one of those. Okay. So
I'll be back.
We'll cover. Don't worry about it. If you need to
Thank
leave
you.
at any point, by the way, anyone, just say the word.
Thank you,
we'll
sorry,
back
that's
for
why
you.
I haven't been talking. I really be right back.
Yeah.
Adding a whole new definition to dying live on stream
That's-
podcast.
Hold on,
funny.
I
No,
have
it's
one.
not. It's not, but I'm
kind
going to
of
make that
anyways.
gallows humor.
Don't know if you guys would like it, but my beta, Third Fang, he made a new story for High School DxD.
Okay.
We were talking about it for a while. It does include one of his OCs traveling through dimensions. One's the Great Red, one's in the Ophis, and he doesn't want to get mixed up in their affairs, so he tries to hide. But Ophis keeps trying to track him down, and to the point where his character is a little bit frantic about it. So he just sees Issei when he's a kid, just sitting there on the park bench, and he's like, you know what, fuck this. And he just jumps into Issei's boosted gear just to hide. And he gets trapped in there because he fiddles around with the boosted gear, activates the safety lock within it, wakes up Dreg way too early. And that's the first. It's only one chapter in. It's just an introduction, and so far it's pretty hilarious.
All right.
It's a good title.
Yeah. So the plans for that is Issei, without spoiling too much, he's still a super huge pervert, but he's a bit more realistic about it. He's not gung ho. the peeping on girls all the fucking time, getting caught, getting beats, because he's gonna go to prison for that.
Well, what if I
more
like
subtle.
the fact that he's a dumb big pervert?
He's a colossal, stupid, dumb fucking pervert.
He is. No, he goes, like, if you've read in the light novels, he gets really, 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 like, he's perverted to the level of insanity, and it's great.
No, I love it. Like, fucking, what he does with Reese's breasts is just great.
You gotta push it like a button.
And then he transfers the power
from it,
into
yeah.
them.
Yeah, okay.
And he loses all his powers when her breasts shrink.
It's so dumb.
But it's great. That's where
I
he gets
know.
his power from. Anyways, for here, he's a little more realistic, a little bit more modern, a little more subtle about his techniques. And he's seen more as a closet pervert. Like, he's more manageable, he can talk to people, but he's still a super huge pervert.
All right.
I'm trying to find a secret there. But, nope. Nope. Nope.
Yeah, okay. I think we can end the podcast.
Trying to find a recommendation.
No, you don't know. No, it's fine. You don't need to do that. We already have enough recommendations.
I might have one.
Okay.
Okay.
It's actually a crossover fic. It's on fanfiction.net. It's a crossover between Harry Potter and Fullmetal Alchemist.
Okay, and what's it called?
It's called No Longer Envious because instead of usually one of the Elric brothers, usually Ed who gets transported to the
Whatever
Harry
setting,
Potter
yeah.
universe, but instead of him, it's actually Envy, and Truth gives Envy a second chance, and he goes to Hogwarts as a first year, and he's with the Golden Trio.
Okay.
First year and up, and most of the story is told from Envy's point of view.
That's interesting because it's envy.
Different.
Yeah, so it's like...
Yeah. Because envy is not really a good person to begin with. And
and he's just a
Someone's
little
Envy?
shit.
Yeah, I would be interested to see how envy interacts with the quote-unquote golden trio.
Oh, he only tags along because they get in trouble. He's like, finally something fun to do.
Ah.
And it's funny because it makes it even more interesting because he ends up in Slytherin, so...
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
He would.
I would laugh my ass off if he landed in Hufflepuff.
He would be so mad.
I think he threatened... I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read the first one. I think he basically threatened the hat not to put him in Hufflepuff.
Makes sense.
You know,
Hat should have done
Hufflepuff
it.
isn't that bad.
So,
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Zero,
Yeah.
would you say this story is intriguing?
Yeah.
Say it.
The story is intriguing.
Damn it.
Not
Had the
deep
deep voice
you
again. I
wanted?
wanted you to do...
No, you don't deserve it.
Sorry about that, by the way. I get kind of cranky when the blood sugar tanks.
No, that's all right.
It's cool. It's cool. We just have. It was just a medicinal problem of a medicinal nature that was medicinal.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. I got nothing. I tried. I got nothing.
Okay, good. Then end the
but it was
podcast.
all...
End the podcast now.
I've got a recommendation. I'll be quick about it.
Okay. I'm just glad that this is keeping going because it's annoying Zero now. It makes me happy.
Okay, so this is a Fallout fanfic. It's okay. So the plot is that it's called New California Dreaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what happens is it's about a ranger of the New California Republic being sent to the Capital Wasteland to investigate what the Brotherhood of Steel is doing there. His name is Cassie Coyle, and he's just the most lovable asshole ever. Like, he's a complete and total arrogant dick.
Mm-hmm.
But his arrogance is completely justified because he has the skills to back it up,
Mm-hmm.
and you just can't help loving him.
Mm-hmm. So this is a Hot Point fic. I've recommended more than one of his fics previously.
Yes, Hot Point.
Yeah. The one where Joffrey was replaced with Octavius from the TV show Rome. That's on space battles. The XCOM crossover that is also excellent and has a very similar character to Coil. Or it was a Stargate and XCOM crossover. So Stargate that have been kind of rubbish at fighting aliens, and XCOM that have a 25% survival rate for their missions, but kick the shit out of some aliens. So Hot Point is a good author. Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Sorry.
he is, but my only complaint about Hot Point is that he uses apostrophes instead of quotation marks.
Oh, yeah.
Which gets really annoying.
Yep.
Sometimes if you're a grammar Nazi.
Oh my. Oh, okay. No, I can't read that now.
And also, he doesn't pen his accents. He only leaves them as an informed attribute.
That's a stylistic choice. Sometimes
that's a stylistic choice, and I get that not going with the full quotation marks is also a stylistic choice, but it's one that pisses me off.
I'd argue the quotation marks is not a stylistic choice. That's a this is how you write.
I've seen stories where they have dialogue that doesn't even use quotation marks, and the point of that style is to make sure that you read thoroughly so you don't miss dialogue.
Oh,
That's
my
dumb.
other issue with
people can appreciate that, I guess, but I hate it.
My other issue with Hot Point is he's very, very antisocial. I've asked him a lot of questions, left him a lot of reviews, and he's not replied to a single one of them.
He gets pestered a lot for his dead stories. It kind of makes sense.
No, I do that a lot too. I get like a shit ton of personal messages.
His
and reviews.
stories are all dead.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones one was quite recent, but that one's also dead as of a few months ago, I think.
No, like seriously.
Yeah, I know they're all from like 2014 or earlier.
And you know, I get reviews sometimes on older stories, and I do not reply to those. But if you put a review on my newer story, I will reply to you in PM.
Hey, would you like to know how many of my private messages are about a Harry Potter Game of the Year edition and whether I'm going to update it?
Oh. Every time I at least, like, if somebody's like PMs me, is like, hey, are you going to update this? I'm like, realistically speaking, no. Maybe, but no. Don't count on it.
My response at this point is, no, I'm not going to update it. That story is very dead. If you want it, it's yours. That's it. That's all I give. Because it is far too late to do a, hey, this story is abandoned post. I can't do that anymore. It's been 3 years. It would just piss people off.
Yeah, because people would see an update and they'd get pissed off.
Not update the summary.
That I've not given notices of cancel for.
That's a good point. I should update the summary.
Yeah, all right, cool. I guess that's the podcast.
Yay! It's a podcast. It's the thing we do every week, and I have to edit this for tomorrow.
We were super professional this podcast. I think, like, I'm impressed with how much progress we've made as being a professional podcast.
Wait, did I? I think I screwed up. Shit. Not with the episode.
Dare tell me.
Not with the episode.
Boy, oh
fine.
boy.
Oh, hey, Casey.
Hmm?
Did you wanna link to the Few the Proud?
I guess because it's not on the list of things that are on the linked up, so I guess that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, it's there. Yeah, I just haven't gotten the link for it. Yeah.
Few the proud, the ugly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this one's scheduled for. No, I'd already done. When did I do that? Oh, fucking whatever.
Casey, please.
I was supposed to put Zero Interest up today instead of tomorrow because we're doing the podcast tomorrow. With the...
Well, you can put one up today too. We have them spare.
No,
we have the technology.
We really don't. I have to edit them. Remember, it took me all day to do 3 once. So
you don't do anything.
Yeah, it's up.
You guys have a very vitriolic best buds thing going on.
Yeah. All right. So I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 163.
Is it? Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's
Probably
go check
three.
the channel. Let's go check the channel right now. Just make sure that you're not screwing it up again. Okay? You ready?
Take
You
your
ready?
time.
We're going to find out right now.
Mhm.
Yes, it is 163.
Alright,
There you go.
that's good to know.
Go with confidence.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 164. If you would like to get in contact with us on the YouTube channel for the comments, please do it on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 164. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.